大家好，欢迎来到明说三人行，我是明叔。今天我们来到杭州九章算术的办公室，给大家做直播。在我左边是 ClickHouse 的 co-founder， 也是产品和技术的总经理 Yuri. Yuri, you want to say hi?
Hello, my name is Yuri Zralewski. I work at ClickHouse, visiting here in Hangzhou, China. And it's just such a pleasure to be here and to speak with Mingshu and Demai. Thank you for having me.
This is your first time in China?
This is my first time in China. I've wanted to come here for many, many years.
Yeah.
In fact, I've always been fascinated. My children studied Chinese in school in the US, but I never had an opportunity, and here I am, and I'm just blown away.
But you must be picking up a few words from your son or your kids.
Yeah, ni hao.
Yeah, good.
Xie.
Great.
So hopefully before I leave, I'll pick up a few more.
Yeah, try to speak Chinese. Beautiful language.
It is.
Yeah, yeah. And also here is Demai, who is the international GM for NineData, 九章算术的
总经理。
国际部总经理。Okay. Demai, can you do an introduction to everybody?
Okay. Hi everyone. So, 我是九章算术这个总负责人、总经理，然后我主要负责这个国际的业务这部分，也就是整个的这个全球的业务。所以是为什么我们今天请来了 Yuri， 是 ClickHouse 的 co-founder， 来跟我们一块来做一个座谈。So Yuri, welcome to our small but exciting office.
It's very, very nice. I think you're underselling yourself. It's really quite impressive.
Yeah, Hangzhou is known for the startups everywhere.
Yes.
Everywhere, tons of startups.
It is like the Silicon Valley of China in some ways, probably.
Actually, true. So actually, the place we stayed is called the Future and the Technology City, a small suburb of Hangzhou, and the most stuff is here.
Yeah.
Of course, small suburb, it's by Chinese standards. From what I'm used to, this is a huge metropolis, and I'm just blown away at Hangzhou. It's what a wonderful, advanced, modern city it is. It's really something.
It is. Yeah, especially from a lot of the infrastructures you can see in the cities, right?
Yeah.
So Demai and I, we were colleagues at Huawei. Yeah, we had a lot of collaborations since that time. And Yuri, I have read a lot of your videos on YouTube, and I know you founded ClickHouse, and actually ClickHouse is a quite popular brand in China. I've briefed you early. There are 280 plus databases in the China market. Yeah,
yes.
but ClickHouse is actually quite popular. So I wanna start today by the slogan behind us. I deliberately picked this slogan as the background because today Apple announced some new products, and I'm always a big fan of the Apple ad campaigns. I still remember Apple used to have a big slogan called "Think Different." And your guys' slogan is "Make a difference." Can you explain this? What is behind this, or?
Yeah, when we found this company, we were thinking about what we were trying to do. So certainly we have an ambitious goal, but we also think about something we do will be concrete. So that's something similar as the Chinese word that trying to do something that to help. And for our work here, for our product, we're trying to help our customers better use of database, better use of data warehouse. So that one want to make a difference than before, and to go to the future. And also we think for us, we want to carry a little bit about society, try to make a difference for the society. And another meaning that we really believe, all the engineers that in this room believe is, we do a small difference every day. Doesn't matter how small it is. Even we just pick up a small trash and put it in the trash can, let's make a difference.
Yeah.
So every day we do a small difference, make a small step forward, we will end up to make a big difference. That's what we are thinking. And for the product, we will make a difference on cloud.
That's great. That's a great story. And then I also think about, you remember when we at when we were at Huawei, we always stress that me too, but better is not enough. We need to make something bigger. We need to make something totally different than other products or other things.
Yeah.
So make a difference is what we do in IT, actually. What do you think, Yuri?
Well, absolutely. Like you mentioned, there are 280 databases in China. I didn't realize there were that many, but I'm not surprised. There's a lot of creativity. There's a lot of really talented engineers. We've been working with Alibaba, who is our exclusive partner, offering managed ClickHouse cloud service. And I've been really, really impressed at both the talent and the quality and the hard work that I'm seeing all around me. With Alibaba, with Nine, and with everyone that I meet here. And I know that just like in the US, in Europe, all over the world, we're trying to solve very hard problems. I know China is a big market, a lot of really hard technical problems to solve, and hopefully we can collaborate and solve them together.
Exactly. This is the place. This is the place of a lot of difficult, database problems to solve.
And China, even though ClickHouse was initially developed in Europe and open sourced, and it is a global technology project with contributors from all over the world. China is actually the biggest market for ClickHouse. There's more ClickHouse deployments. They're the biggest ClickHouse deployments, self-managed open source currently. But we're hoping that with our partnership with Alibaba, we can bring more and more users to that managed cloud service and take advantage of the features that we're putting there.
Yeah. So help me here. Since we're talking about ClickHouse, what is the core technology that sets you apart from other technologies, or whether it's global market or in China? Because OLAP is a very, very crowded market. From the big players such as Ali, Tencent, Huawei, they all have their own OLAP products. And there are a bunch of smaller players that are trying to playing the catch-up cards. So what sets you apart?
Yeah. So and of course, as we all know, there's plenty of technologies, plenty of products to choose from. But I think ClickHouse is quite unique. Well, first of all, it is an open source technology. It's been in the open source since 2016, and it's a very popular project with contributions from over 1,300 developers. There have been over 100,000 commits. It's a very rapidly evolving project. We're putting out the major release every month. And the space of innovation and all the features and everything that's coming in, the product speaks for itself. It is, if there's one word that describes ClickHouse, it is fast. It is the fastest analytics database on the market. In fact, there is a benchmark that's been, supported by the community with measurements kind of submitted from the open source community, and you can see all the different technologies out there, and very proud that ClickHouse is at the top in terms of the different analytics workloads. It is a highly distributed systems. It's multi-master. You can deploy it on a single node or on many nodes across different availability zones, across regions. And you can scale it vertically, you can scale it horizontally, and you can survive the failure of any one or number of components without the impact to the customer. And it is an analytics database that is serving all types of different use cases, everything from data warehousing, where we are a real-time data warehouse alternative to traditional data warehouses like Teradata and Snowflake. There is observability, where traditionally users had to sample data or provide a very short TTL time to live just because it's very difficult to keep all of that data. With ClickHouse, you can load all of your petabytes of your logs and metrics without ever needing to delete them, to even some of the more recent developments such as machine learning and generative AI, where ClickHouse is a very popular database to both build machine learning models, run inferences, and even we provide some custom features, specialized features like vector search that allow customers to develop their advanced machine learning and generative AI. So it's a pretty versatile technology that serves all sorts of analytical use cases, but the key is speed and infinite scalability.
All right. I used to be the CTO of Sybase China when I came back to China in 2006, and my baby was Sybase IQ. I don't know whether you heard of that. Is the early product of columnar database, and I've heard ClickHouse as the core differentiator on columnar technology. So have you competed or have some benchmark against either Sybase IQ or maybe Vertica or other columnar databases on the market globally?
Yes, you can. Well, yes, I have heard about Sybase IQ. It probably dates me, but both you and I and Dimai, we've been in this industry for a couple of years. So we've seen all sorts of different technologies come and go. But yes, ClickHouse is a columnar database. It is handcrafted in C++. We offer industry-leading compression, and that is one of the technical kind of reasons why we're so fast is because of the columnar format and various other optimizations in terms of sorting, indexing, merges, and other kind of various replication techniques. We're able to really compress data and process it at very, very high rates. And think about that. I'm not sure if Sybase, if we have Sybase IQ specifically in our benchmark, but there is a community-maintained benchmark site. It's benchmark.clickhouse.com that compares ClickHouse to all sorts of database technologies, both real-time analytics databases, traditional data warehouses, even more traditional relational databases like MySQL, Postgres, and others. And you can see, we're very proud that ClickHouse is at the top. And depending on what technology it is, sometimes we're several times faster, sometimes we're thousands of times faster. But it is a very competitive marketplace, and you can see over time how all of us are kind of inching up and performing faster and faster.
Yeah.
But we're doing it whatever we can to stay ahead of that pack.
All right, cool. Let's come to Dimai. So tell us a little bit more about NineData. What do you do, and what is the core technology? And similarly, what sets you apart in this also crowded market?
Great. Yeah. So NineData is a relatively younger company. Actually, tomorrow we will celebrate our 2 years anniversary.
Oh.
We were founded November 1st, 2 years ago. And glad that you mentioned Alibaba. Actually, many of us come from Alibaba. So our team is building several products that are working and supporting full database. So just make clear, we are a data management system on cloud, but we are not providing service for database. What we provide have several products. One is called SQL development. It's a unified SQL client for all data sources, including popular database like MySQL, PostgreSQL, ClickHouse, GreenPlum, GaussDB, and many. But it's more than a SQL client. We embedded the access control. We embedded development process. We embedded auditing log in there. So helping an enterprise development team to doing the database CI and the CD, and to follow all the enterprise regulation, and to make sure the database have a secured development and the deployment environment. And besides that, another key product is a database replication. It's a pipeline that we build to help and support the different data sources. For example, we have a customer using MySQL as their transactional, and then collect all the sales data and the advertisement data back into ClickHouse, doing BI and doing the OLAP kind of thing. And also have customers trying to move from on-premise IDC to cloud, or migrate from one cloud to another cloud. So they need a migration process. And that's what we do using our database replication. We also provide a database backup, and that's also part of the high availability service that we provide. Our product is currently working on all the major cloud providers, including Alibaba, Tencent, Baidu, Huawei, and also on AWS and on globally. What we look at that is always a need to have a supporting team to using the database or data warehouse like ClickHouse. Our uniqueness is, well, we have been sometimes working for Huawei, and we were working for GhostDB at some point. And I personally have been working for IBM and also have been working for Alibaba. And we believe the future is cloud neutrality. Because the reason that people using different databases because they don't want to be locked in, and you know who, and something start with O. So no one wants to be locked in there. So we're trying to help our customers so they have more freedom, more flexibility to use on multiple cloud, to use different data source or database. And for them, they can, especially for enterprise workshop, they may have different TP system and many different OLAP system. And our unified data pipeline and our unified SQL development environment can help them to help their developer to be more efficiently and securely to build their applications surrounding database. That's our goal.
So let me do a quick summarize. I think if Yuri as ClickHouse is on the back end of a whole IT system, you guys are trying to be at the more of a front end to the developer, helping you write SQLs and moving data from one TP system to AP system to one cloud to another cloud. You're trying to be cloud neutral to all the infrastructure right now.
That's correct.
Market. Right.
And
that's important.
Yeah, and just to quickly add to that, I mean, earlier, Min-Shu, you've asked about the differentiation and what makes ClickHouse unique. And yeah, I mean, there are some technical differentiators, and we believe it's a great technology, great product. But when you look at any enterprise big data ecosystem,
yes,
it is extremely complex. There are hundreds, thousands, and thousands of different technologies.
And it's getting more and more complex.
Exactly. and you are just one Lego block. You're just one piece of the puzzle. And oftentimes, what's more important is not how you differentiate based on specific features, but how well you plug into that ecosystem. And that's why it is so important for any database project, certainly for ClickHouse, to continue to invest not just in the developer ecosystem, but into the technical ecosystem, and having a number of replication services, plugins, connectors, language clients, data pipelines, visualization tools, security tools, and just work with everybody. And they need to not be tied to a specific cloud. And that's why, for example, in China, we have a partnership with Alibaba, exclusive partnership, but outside China, we work on AWS, we work on GCP, soon we're launching on Azure, obviously ClickHouse open source project that can be run on-prem, and the ability to work and speak the language of any big data product and technology and be ubiquitous, that is really the goal for us as well. And NineData, we are very, very happy that they're helping to connect ClickHouse to other technologies and, again, aid with this ubiquity in this integration ecosystem.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
So pretty much you're hosting the OLAP data and functionality, and they're trying to help you feed more data from TP system into ClickHouse as an AP
That's
system.
exactly we are already helping customers doing that right now.
Yeah.
And at this moment, there are several links with Click and send the data to ClickHouse. Hope that system up and running right now.
Well, you have some baby now, huh?
Yeah.
So I'm actually curious. I think our viewers will probably be a little curious about this as well. So how do you guys, met in the first place, and how, if we're talking about not necessarily a marriage, but it's a shake hands, how did that happen in the beginning? Maybe you know a little bit more.
Okay, so I can start.
Yes.
So from my perspective, so as I said, we're doing the SQL development, we're doing data pipelines. So who I should serve? Well, whoever my customer asks for. When they ask for my SQL, I support my SQL. When they ask for Green Plum, I support for Green Plum. And it happened because my past experience, I have many customers ask for ClickHouse. So my customer ask for that, and they're willing to pay for that. And I have been working on OLAP system for a while, and I started my career really thanks for many of my mentors in IBM. So I was the owner of current optimization of the DB2, and then I'm working as an architect for Gauss DB, which is a MPP system for OLAP. So I'm looking at ClickHouse. I think, oh, cool. That's something have a good technical foundation, have enough customers globally, and without any advertisement, many people in Greater China area using that already. Why not? So I want to build a pipeline to build something like a highway to there. So pipeline, for example, MySQL or OLTP system, the data to ClickHouse, so my customers will be happy. And as that, we began to do that last year, but at that time, ClickHouse do not have a representative in China. So we have to start by our own. So at this particular location, half years ago, we built a meetup. The meetup title is MySQL ClickHouse. We have people from different cloud, Huawei,
NineData
Baidu. Yeah, we started that meet.
okay.
That probably is one of the very first meetup about MySQL and ClickHouse. And we have the technical engineers come to speak about how they use that. And that cover all the 5 biggest cloud providers in China. So basically, it's more like a one-way love. So we love that ClickHouse, but we haven't got the answer yet at that moment until maybe recently. So maybe that story from your end.
Yeah. This is a fairly typical story. Again, ClickHouse is first and foremost, it's an open source technology. It's a community. And a lot of these kind of serendipitous introductions and connections, they happen during meetups or during open source collaboration. Of course, we're building a differentiated cloud product with a lot of custom proprietary features. But what makes ClickHouse unique is such a strong open source community that then enables these kinds of partnerships as well.
Sure, exactly. Though as we examine the different OLAP systems, and we also try to look at who can be partnered with. We offer a friendly hand, and who will shake our hand. And glad you come over here. Yeah. So, yeah, that's exactly what we're looking for. Let's make a picture. Let's do a picture.
Make a special picture. There you go.
Yeah,
that's great.
So yeah, that's what we're looking at. We are looking for partners, and
yeah, I like that story. Actually, when Demai and I were working together, he was in charge of what we called Gauss 200, right? Which is the OLAP part, and Huawei has a Gauss 100, which is the OLTP part. I was the kind of the product director of all these products, and then I knew that I particularly like OLAP parts because not only because my Sybase IQ, kind of a background, but also I think OLAP has kind of endless imagination or endless progress, even from now, right? I still think there are endless possibilities of how analytics can be made or can be made faster, can be made more easy, easily managed, easily programmed, things like that, right?
Yeah, it's a really interesting transformation, and I feel like at this moment we're going through this real-time revolution. So when I, back probably 20 years ago, I was managing data warehouse for Yahoo, which was at that time a big internet company. And the way that analytics was done back then is you aggregate your data, your logs during the day for 4-hour period. You close the books at midnight. You process data overnight, and then hopefully by the time your executives show up in the next morning, you look at dashboards, you report. Sometimes you're a little late, and that's you operate in this 24-hour delayed snapshot, right, at best.
Sure.
And that may have been okay 20 years ago, or even 10 years ago, but today nobody wants to wait 24 hours. Nobody wants to wait 1 minute, right? People want to be able to look at their data, analyze it, and take actions, whether you're detecting anomalies and providing, checking security breaches or production outages, or you're optimizing marketing campaigns, or, figuring out security risks or trading strategies for, your stock trades. Everything happens in real time, and analytics, data-driven applications, they take action in real time. And this is an amazing opportunity to transform industries from this kind of lag, delayed view into real-time view. Yeah. And hopefully ClickHouse can help customers with that kind of transformation.
That's very good, because since Yuri mentioned that three of us all spent a few years in the industry, right? I'll share my story. I actually worked in the Silicon Valley for Barclays, Barclays Global Investors in San Francisco, and at that time, I think when you talk about 20 years ago or 30 years ago, every year people talk about real time, but different years there are different meanings of real time, right? You shared the story of Yahoo, and I'll share in Barclays. When we do the trade analysis every night after the trade closes, and we need to come up with the trading order or trading instruction for tomorrow, that's a very tough, crunching job every night, right? When New York closes, we at San Francisco, we collect all the data and then put it in a data warehouse, and hopefully by 5 or 4 a.m., we need to finish all of that. Right. If you can't do that, that's not real time, right? We're talking about if you can get it done before 2 in the morning, then you have a real time response, right? That's your job is done in real time. But now we're talking really second level or millisecond level of real time, and plus the data nowadays are probably 10, hundreds, or even thousands of times bigger.
Thousands.
Yep.
Order of magnitude. Yeah.
I mean, back in the day, a data warehouse with 20, 30 terabytes was huge data. It was bigger than big data.
Sure.
We at Yahoo, we developed MapReduce-based processing technology called later open source as Hadoop, exactly to do this kind of batch processing, to process this data. These days, companies like Uber, companies like eBay, companies like Netflix are ingesting millions of events every second. Yeah. We're talking about petabytes and petabytes of data that's aggregated in those real-time data warehouses that, if you set it right and use the right technology like ClickHouse, you can access all of those tens of petabytes of data in real time, in sub-second. Yeah. It's something that I could never dream about 10 or 20 years ago.
And that will require the data ingestion
exactly,
or moving in real time as well.
That's right. So when we talk about real time, as good old time, we have 24-hour window. And usually you click something, you go to sleep at 8 p.m. and come up at 6, hope everything's done. And then someone run the report, 9 a.m. that report will show up on the executive office saying, okay, what's our sale, what's our result, that's our cycle. And when you talk about Berkeley, I'm not sure I get called up at the middle night because something didn't happen. Today, everything on cloud, everything is much more better and smoothly. So many times, if there's something about the data congestion there, we know that before our customers, that before they call us, we fix it and call them, telling them, okay, there's a problem at 1 a.m. We detected at 1:15, and well, we take a little bit longer, and at 1:45, everything done. And the person don't even wake up. That's what we're doing right now.
Yeah, sure. So, Yuri, now ClickHouse is or has been officially entering the China market this year, right?
Right.
Do you understand the whole competition landscape in China, particularly for you?
It would be very ambitious of me to claim that well, of course, I'm just getting a glimpse of the complexity, the richness of the technical ecosystem, business ecosystem. I mean, certainly, I don't know. Maybe you understand it.
Let me give you a little kind of put it in numbers. Nowadays, by the way, this number keeps changing every month or maybe every week.
One direction changing. Changing in one direction.
One direction.
I'll make it very clear. Yeah.
So I think early this year, there's a list maintained by the industry people in terms of how many databases are on the China market officially competing. And I think early this year, we keep talking, it's crazy. There were 260 databases. And my prediction to the market or message to the market is, sooner or later, this should collapse. This should, reduce, right? Not real competitors. But unfortunately, it's still going up. It's 280 plus databases in China market. And when you condense to your OLAP market, I think at least a few dozen. Okay. And they're sizable, as I said, every big players have their own OLAP products. And plus, I have to say, the market is very challenging to foreign brands. Okay, there's a trusted infrastructure movement in China. I'm not sure whether you either heard of it or understand what it is, but all the foreign brands are facing very tough competition in China market. So, in face of all these challenges, what do you think ClickHouse will do to address these competitions?
Yeah, I understand that just like any country, any market, there are certain regulatory requirements, there are certain business and ecosystem requirements, and I don't pretend to understand it all, and I'm not even going to try. And I think, frankly, it would not be the right priority, the right focus for us to become an expert as an outsider coming in. I mean, obviously, the players who've been here, who have grown here in China, understand it much better, and that is why it is so important for us to work with the right local partners, where we bring the technology, we bring the product capabilities, and then we partner. So we have an exclusive partnership with Alibaba Cloud to provide serverless managed ClickHouse. It is a first-party offering that is managed and supported by Alibaba Cloud. And
so you will have a team of engineers or operational people on Ali Cloud to manage, as you said, this is a
first-party offering that Alibaba is offering to its customers.
I see.
So you go to Alibaba Cloud. It's called ApsaraDB for ClickHouse Enterprise Edition, and I believe that it is the best, most performant serverless managed analytics database in China. And of course, Alibaba, they are the biggest, the most advanced cloud provider. So we're very happy to partner with them, and they make sure that everything from operational and business requirements to regulatory and compliance requirements are checked out. And then I think that's kind of a win-win partnership for us. Of course, there's a lot of open source usage. There are other managed offerings that we're not collaborating with directly, but we have open source users kind of adopting the technology, and I'm sure they're also offering compliance with this trusted infrastructure requirement. And I think the success of ClickHouse in China kind of speaks for itself, and hopefully it addresses those concerns.
Yeah. So Demai, you have worked in Huawei in Silicon Valley or Alibaba International, and also you were IBM. Now you're at NineData. What's your advice to Yuri as a global brand coming into China market?
So Yuri already got the key point. So ClickHouse is definitely a global brand. So many developers like us already know of that. However, to get into our end enterprise customers, there are several hurdles have to go through. Certainly, already mentioned there are local regulation like any other region. Europe have one, US have one, so you have to take care of that. That needs someone really know how to get certification. That's one hurdle. Another is, our customer is different. Besides, they need the better technology. They also consider the whole solution. ClickHouse, in many cases, will not be the whole solution. Like NineData, we never claim we provide the whole solution for our customers. So we are like a Lego, that Yuri just mentioned as meaningful, that we put together. In many ways, we are working with we call the ISV, a solution provider, and put some major Lego together and become a solution, maybe for a local government, maybe for a financial institute, and for different regulation we need to follow and to get those computation there. So for that, one advice is definitely need someone local to support you. And your team, and certainly is one, and the community is another, and the big player like Alibaba is one, but also there are many relative middle-sized players because they can bring in different customer opportunities. So they all have pro and con, but openness, especially with ClickHouse, like open source community, that have the advantage. Another thing is we need to let the customer or our user know, or before, ClickHouse is a foreign company, and it is a company based in Silicon Valley. It not means that the user will not get support from the company or from the community. The people in Greater China area will get technical support, will get business support, so they can trust to put their mission critical data on this particular engine.
Yeah.
So that's the important message there.
I think that's very important because either because of the geographical reasons or the language barriers, I think the customer in China particularly, they would strongly demand the local language support, which is super important. Yeah. I have experienced that in Sybase, SAP, Microsoft, all that. That's very important.
Yep.
Yeah. But do you have a business goal in China? For example, like the next 6 to 12 months, what are you trying to achieve, or what are you planning to do?
Well, I mean, our focus is not just the next 6 or 12 months, but we're looking 5, 10, 20 years ahead. And the goal is to establish ClickHouse as the leader, the go-to solution for any real-time data warehousing, real-time analytics needs. It is, we're already quite popular, but I think, like you mentioned, there's a lot of players and that ecosystem is growing. So if and when the time comes towards consolidation, we hope to be one of the winning solutions that earns the trust of customers in China and all over the world. Again, we're not going to succeed by ourselves. It's all about the community, the open source community, the business community, the right partnerships. And we're obviously very aware of that. And we want to be a good partner to our local Chinese customers and business partners. And hopefully that will put us in a winning position.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Demai, it's similar to ClickHouse are entering China. We call it Go China strategy. You guys are going global, going
exactly.
putting your products to AWS and Azure, things like that. Are you doing that?
Right.
What is your strategy there?
So our planning is very soon. I will talk about it maybe in a few months. We will have the preview for the global market. As a cloud-based product, we probably will put on the big three, and like Amazon, Google, like. So that's one thing. Another thing is, I have to admit, as a Chinese company, the language barrier will be the first.
Neutral, yeah. Two ways.
And I think our audience know that my English, I can speak. However, I have a strong accent. My daughter told me about that.
You guys are being too hard on yourself.
Well,
your English for both of you is much better than mine.
Yeah, well,
I've lived in the U.S. for 30 years, so
No, my English is better than your Chinese.
yeah. So that's one thing. But I agree with you. Actually, language barrier is only a fear people afraid of. No, I'm not afraid of anymore. So I can get my message past hour.
Yes, that's
So
all
we
that
already
matters.
passed that.
That's all that matters.
So usually I wouldn't tell people that language is not a problem, especially now AI is there. It's much better. So I think we will put our Chinese subtitle in this video too, right? And
That's
that
right.
will be generated by AI, I believe.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So language barrier won't be there. However, there are two things I still need to. It's still challenging to me, and maybe get some help from you. So first, branding. By all means, I'm pretty sure that the database community know NineData very well in Greater China area, but we are still a small brand in Silicon Valley. So we need to partner with someone and to get the message across, saying we have a NineData, we have this product, can help your data to flow around. So that's one thing. Another is we do need to have some local help there to support our customers, to really address our customers' needs there. And that needs manpower.
Yeah.
That's what I need to worry about, maybe hiring someone. And the third one, I will not hire a person, but I will hire the expertise. For example, the local data governing policy, the certification. We already have ISO and support that, but for different regions, for example, before I go to Singapore, I go to Malaysia, they all have different requirements, and the European Union have their requirement. So I need to get the local lawyer, the local partnership to certify that. Similar challenge as ClickHouse Yuri will really struggle, I will say, in the coming 6 months.
yeah, and it's really you can't say that it's only one country or one market that has very strict regulations. It's obviously all over the world.
Sure.
You know, whether it's SOC 2 in the US or ISO 27001 or GDPR in Europe or other regulations all over the world. Yes, you have to really invest. You want to do the right thing, and you know, if you focus on the right security, privacy, data governance, access policies, those are the same kind of basic principles that will serve you well in any market. But yes, there's a lot of busy work that you need to do to make sure that you have that compliance, and that's just part of business.
Exactly. Yeah.
But one interesting topic you brought up was branding. A lot of the Chinese companies or Chinese brands, you know, after they're successful in China, or at the same time they're expanding, they pick the strategy of going global, going abroad. But one of the tough choices is whether they start from Southeast Asia, which is closer to China, and a lot of Chinese customers are going there, expanding to Southeast Asia as well. Then you're an infrastructure provider, and then you go with them, or go directly to, you know, the bigger or tougher market like US or Europe. What do you think? Early this year, I actually interviewed 2 other Chinese database companies, CEO or their head, and they have different picks. You know, one guy said, I need to follow my customers or go to Southeast Asia. One guy said, if I'm not successful in the US, I'm no longer successful in other parts of the world. So I need to pick the toughest market to go. What is your strategy, or what's Yuri's suggestion later on?
Well, I won't call a unique solution there. I don't think I have the best solution, but I can tell you two things I tried and so far successful. For one, before I joined NineData, I was the business owner, the head of database team for the international for Alibaba Cloud. So simply put, outside mainland China, all the Alibaba Cloud database product, including TP, AP, NoSQL, and utilities, their revenue is my responsibility. So I tried US, I tried European country, I tried Southeast Asia, I tried Japan. I got great successful in Japan and Southeast Asia. I usually travel from San Francisco to Singapore 3 times every 2 months. The longest flight outside San Francisco. So there's a reason for that, because Alibaba as a platform already have some branding in Asia.
That's right.
So I got, and also have a local support, my BD, business people, sales people there. So that's one thing. But another thing is, I'm not trying to make this suggestion for all the Chinese company, because Alibaba is unique.
Yeah.
Another thing is, I do see the value of make your name in Silicon Valley. Although I'm proud to say Hangzhou, we are compete there. We are one of the good place to be a startup, to be in. But Silicon Valley so far is still the best place for startups, and the best place to collaborate, to communicate.
And I think, especially when you talk about databases, history will tell that this is Silicon Valley has been the core innovation hotbed, right? Nowhere else can compete against Silicon Valley in terms of databases.
And for some way, people believe a garage in Silicon Valley is better than a high building in, for example, Tokyo, because the results showing that the garage seems to have more innovation in the past 50 years. And some garages have more than another.
I think it's the culture. It's pretty much the people you can hire in this local region.
Yeah, not only that, if I may. So I spend about 2/3 of my time in Silicon Valley, 1/3 in China. So it's much easier for me to get a CTO, a CEO of different level to grab a coffee together and to talk about, hey, maybe I can put some code in your code and you put some code in mine. That partnership together to integrate our product together, much easier. So I think that's because of culture. So that's what I believe. So to end up my suggestion, for a company want to make their name, they need to showcase their product in Silicon Valley. Tell them, hey, I'm here. I can help your business. I can help your product.
Yeah.
So that's what my take.
Yeah. So kind of a two-way strategy. Yeah.
It's a great question, and as Dima, you were talking, I was thinking about that as well, and I'm actually a little bit of a split mind. I mean, I appreciate the differences, Silicon Valley, and I've spent decades there myself, so I'm definitely very familiar with it, more so than other places. But at the same time, I see a lot of innovation. I see a lot of great ideas. I see a lot of great contributions coming from all over the world. And, ClickHouse, for example, was originally developed in Europe.
Yeah.
It didn't come out of Silicon Valley as an open source technology. Of course, we formed the company as a Silicon Valley company, but we have employees all over the world. Majority of our employees are actually not in California. About half of our employees are in Europe. We have employees in Asia and all over North America as well. And the way I think about growth and the opportunity is try to serve the most complex, the biggest scale. And again, I'm not a politician. I'm not a business person. I'm an engineer first and foremost. And I feel that if we can have our solution work for the biggest, most advanced customers out there, biggest scale, complex technical product requirements, then we'll be successful all over the world. And actually, those companies they're global companies as well. You know, we're serving banks. You know, like for example, Deutsche Bank uses ClickHouse, or Harvest Fund in China. We have global streaming companies like Disney or Netflix or Comcast, insurance companies, manufacturing companies, and those are global companies. And if you can make your technology, your product, serve them well, they will take you all over the world.
Yeah.
And I think trying to build a great solution that works for those most advanced use cases will help you be successful globally. Of course, you have to be mindful about local regulation, the language support, and all of that stuff. I don't want to diminish that requirements, but I think the most fundamental thing is be the best solution for the hardest, biggest scale, most difficult technical products, serve the developer well, and then the rest of it will happen.
Yeah. And here, this country is never short of that tough challenges, you know, because you know, as we knew that 30 years ago, a lot of the toughest OAP or OTP questions or challenges are in the U.S. banks, you know, Wall Street, and things like that, right? But nowadays, if you go, especially go online, go internet, go mobile world, I think by population or by data amounts, you know, I think China is the place to solve.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, at this year, 2023, there is one huge topic nobody can get around, which is Gen AI. What I knew that you guys just recently, as you know, a couple of days ago, right, October 25th, you announced the product features about Gen AI. Can you talk a little bit more about that, and what's the goal, or what's the thoughts behind that, and what's your expectation in China?
Yeah, well, and again, I don't think that it varies too much between China and the rest of the world. Obviously, AI is top of mind. A lot of people are talking about it. Nobody really knows what it will look like, you know, in the years to come. There's a lot of speculation, but there's a lot of effort that goes into building AI, machine learning applications, Gen AI applications, and ClickHouse actually is pretty well plugged into that ecosystem. Given our scale and our performance, a lot of users are using ClickHouse in order to both train machine learning models, run inferences. We are providing some special features like vector search, and we're constantly optimizing that capability, you know, working on providing inverted indices and other optimizations in order to make vector search work better. Also, we're leveraging AI, generative AI, and LLMs to make our developer experience better in order to help ClickHouse users use LLMs in order to edit queries.
Yeah, like assistance.
Yes, provide a co-pilot in order to edit, debug their queries. We're seeing really good results there. So I think it's going to continue both on the back end and on the front end. And personally, I'm very curious to see where this AI revolution will take us.
Sure.
Nobody really knows, and there is a whole spectrum of possibilities, but I'm very optimistic.
Yeah, you mentioned about the vector data. Are you sort of embedding another vector database in you, or you're sending, you know, some of, you know, these requests to other vector databases, or you see ClickHouse itself as a vector database?
Yes, ClickHouse itself is already is being used for vector search.
Okay.
I mean, again, we're not a specialized vector database like Pinecone and some others, but again, we are such a scalable and highly optimized for speed database that you can store petabytes of data and query it in real time, and that's what a lot of those ML applications and training models really need. So yes, there's already a lot of usage of ClickHouse itself
as a vector
database, and we're investing heavily into optimizing those vector capabilities, which will make it even better.
See, this is what I see as a very kind of unique situation in the past 4 decades. You know, I've never seen such a competition landscape, you know, prior to this couple of years. Whenever you say some features, there are a bunch of people are saying we're doing exactly the same and we're doing better. When you say vector is becoming popular because of the Gen AI movements, and a lot of people are saying, hey, we're doing vector, we're supporting vector data, we're providing the vector search, and we're converting our databases into vector. Oh, by the way, we're actually a vector database. You keep hearing a lot of these messages, and that's exactly the challenges in China as well. You're going to see that more and more of that in China. So how do you kind of address that?
Well, I think our effort is to be as good as we possibly can for the broader set of use cases. Of course, we need to focus, and we don't want to stray too far apart. But again, data locality matters. Customers are loading tens, 100 petabytes of data into ClickHouse, and being able to do whatever you need, whether whatever the use cases are, data warehousing, observability, AI, ML training and inferences, being able to do it in as a one-stop shop, I think that's a very powerful proposition. And of course, depending on the use cases, some people might want to use different things for different purposes and kind of move data around, and of course data replication comes into play there as well. But I think that in many cases having the data in one kind of vertically integrated stack and being able to do all of those things in one place, that's also a very powerful proposition. So hopefully we're already seeing good demand for it, and hopefully we'll continue to grow.
Well, what's your take on the Gen AI?
So let me put it this way, it's really exciting time to have AI being able to do this. And but I can also say it's really crowdy, and everyone trying to do the same thing. And I don't like crowd place. And I only knew what myself or NineData, our company, good at. So we are trying to leverage AI technologies. We are training a particular data set to better our product. So that's what we are doing. For example, I talk about the SQL development. I talk about replication. I talk about backups. Doing this, we have the metadata. So it's easily for us to generate SQL from an NLP, the natural language, to a SQL language for our customers. They don't need to do anything more. So we already have a product in preview doing so. And because we are a database person, so we get the fundamental ideas of how a better query can perform. So we can leverage AI to suggesting an index, a primary key, or a particular data type for a column if we want to index on it. So that's what we know, and that's what we will do. And also, we have another kind of product on preview. It's called the Chat DBA, because our company many people have tens of years experience as a DBA. So we can use that to help our customers to better use the database. So that's what we provide. We're certainly not the person to buy a lot of hardware. We certainly not do a general LLM to support everything, to make up a story or something. So we do what we are doing right now. We are not trying to jump on the wagon, which is people already began to falling off right now. So we just leverage AI, training our LLM to better using our product for our customers. That's our goal. And what's the future? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think AI, it will be there, and we need to use that. Maybe that's what we do.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. I have a final question for you. I think a lot of developers are actually talking or asking about ClickHouse open source model. There are different models about between open source version and the commercial version. You know, some companies are starting as an open source project, and now they're commercializing it into a full feature or wrap up around their open source project, making it more suitable for the commercial clients because they need support, right? And I also see some companies are deliberately set feature sets different, right? They're actually the same group of developers, and they develop the whole set of features, but they give a sort of a freeware, simpler, smaller set of the features as a freeware. And they hope to lure more users. You get the feeling, or get the taste of my free software. Let me tell you, I actually have more. What is ClickHouse strategy? Talking about commercializing.
Yeah, we definitely don't treat open source as a teaser, as a kind of as a bait to loop people in and then rope them into a commercial product. And there are thousands. I mean, there's lots and lots of customers out there. They're very successful in using the open source self-managed product, and we hope that they'll continue to be successful. And that's frankly what helped us to get to this point and gain all of this recognition and adoption all over the world. The way that we kind of think about relative positioning is that the open source self-managed deployments, typically they run in a shared nothing model where people download and they keep data directly on the compute nodes. The architecture that we chose for the cloud is compute storage separation, where the data is kept in a shared object storage and the compute clusters are mostly stateless. We developed a lot of really advanced custom capabilities within ClickHouse Cloud to serve that. We've also added additional things around security, compliance, policies, access control, and so forth to make our cloud service better suited for our commercial customers. And it's whatever customers prefer. If they want to use the open source based shared nothing architecture, great. And then, we've developed additional proprietary custom features specifically for cloud deployments. And I think it's a very natural separation that doesn't cause any tension or conflict between the two. And our customers, they understand kind of that differentiation, and it has not really caused any issues.
What is NineData's view on the open source?
So let me talk about what way we opt open source. So I personally have been working for HBase for about 2 years as a developer contributor. We think open source is a great way as a developer to improve the software. And many of us are using that. For example, I use VIM, and I heard you're using Emacs. So I'm not paying. Okay.
We've been around for a while.
A little bit. But
I'm on your side. VIM.
Yeah. So I think that will be there. The open source tools will be there. But there are two kinds of open source software. The ClickHouse and the NineData are the software is more complex, and we are aiming for two kinds of customers. And the majority of our customers are enterprise. So they need someone to provide the service of a complex system.
Yeah.
And to provide service, we need to have the elite engineering to help them. So for that, we need to have some way to working as a paid software or paid service, I want to say.
Yeah.
So that's what I will. And so I believe it is coexisting. Like the Linux that built many years ago, that VI, 60 years? How long VI have been there? So it's not saying when we use VI or Emacs, there are no one using other developer editing tools. They are coexisting.
Yeah.
That's a personal preference.
Yeah.
I believe they'll be there, and we will just need to working to in reality. And depending on these customers, this is my personal take. Yuri may not agree with me. So I think for startup, if I'm building another startup that from scratch, I only have 3 developers, I'm not going to pay you. I will build a self-managed ClickHouse because I need to know whether it satisfies my requirement. However, when my startup became a 30% or 50%, I have my paid customer. I need to be responsible for my customers. So I know for sure I'm using ClickHouse, so I'm not the best person to know ClickHouse. Either I hire someone who can provide that service, or I hire Yuri to provide that service to me. So the middlenet call will route to there, not me. So that's my take if something happens. However, the open source part will still be there because everyone have to start from 3-person team. And that's very important to them and very important to our community. That's my personal take.
And I respect that opinion and it resonates. I think for us, it's actually also a little bit of a challenge because anybody can download ClickHouse and run it for free. It's actually on us to make sure that our cloud solution is better, faster, more cost efficient.
Yeah.
And again, we do have some features like auto scaling, for example, that not only is it more efficient and easier to use, but it's actually more cost efficient.
Yeah.
Because typically your self-managed deployment, you run fixed size clusters, but our cloud solution is serverless. And even though yes, you're paying us to use it, because it scales up and down with load, and you only pay for what you use, it will be more cost efficient.
Sure.
Perhaps even for a 3-person team. And not to mention that it's much easier to just get a SaaS service as opposed to setting up and going through all of that trouble of operational maintenance and setup. So it is a challenge. It's a forcing function, and it also keeps us honest.
Yeah, I think going back to the example we used, Lego, nowadays we should say that any IT system is kind of a Lego-made structure. Right? It's very complex, and any piece of the block is going to make or break the whole thing, right? And from that perspective, if you use the wrong part, or if you put it in the wrong way, that could break your system.
Yeah.
So the professional services or the professional offering is worth a lot of money.
Exactly.
I think that's quite true. And of course, you can pick up a chart or pick up a diagram you can sort of understand, and you can make something on your own. That's what open source is all about. Right?
Yeah.
It's great. Okay. Well, I think we're nearing the end of our program. So can you guys maybe say a few short maybe wishes or to our viewers?
I'll go first.
We are a quite popular high-tech interview program in China. Of course, this program probably will air not only in China, maybe in the English community as well.
Okay, so first I would like to thank you, Mingshu, and thank you, Yuri, to come over here and to the beautiful Hangzhou and come to our office. Love to have you guys here. And I want to say is, this is the open world. We are not building a Silicon Valley software. We are not building a Hangzhou software. We are building a software for our customer globally, before we go to Mars, certainly. So I like to have that. Like today, we collaborate together, talk about database. And I believe in the near future, ClickHouse and NineData will have more collaboration, and together we'll grow the community together in Greater China. And certainly, at some point, NineData will also go globally and contribute to international customers.
Well, thank you, Demai. Thank you, Mingshu. It's such a wonderful opportunity to speak with both of you and to reach out to the broader audience. Of course, ClickHouse, we're very proud of what what we're building, and I hope that all of you, if you haven't tried ClickHouse yet, please give it a try. And of course, now it's available in China as well through our Alibaba partnership. But what we're doing with ClickHouse and the kind of problems that we're solving, it's the same kind of problems that all of us in the technology community are solving in terms of scale, performance, reliability, security, cost efficiency. And hopefully we can all learn from each other and collaborate with each other, and together we'll solve all of these problems.
Yeah, definitely.
Good.
Great.
I think this is both the best time of the world and the worst time of the world in database in China, because you see so many innovations, but at the same time, the competition is so tough. So let's hope, wish both of you, especially as you're collaborating and cooperating together, wish success to both of you.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Minchu.
Thank you.
Thank you. 谢谢。
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 谢谢。